When my wife, Aisha, first told me she was considering becoming a surrogate, I thought she was joking. But when she added that the couple in question was none other than her wealthy boss and his wife, the seriousness of it hit me like a brick. She looked me in the eye and said, "It's my body, my choice." I sat in silence, stunned by her words, trying to process what kind of marriage we were living in if she could make a life-altering decision without even considering me. She defended herself endlessly, saying it was a noble act, that she was helping a family who couldn't have children. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it. The money they were offering was huge, enough to change our lifestyle overnight. I knew deep down her decision wasn't just about helping someone, it was about the temptation of wealth and status. The weeks that followed were a nightmare. I watched as she went to countless doctor appointments, often accompanied by her boss's wife, while I stayed home feeling like an outsider in my own marriage. Every time she came home, she talked about how kind and generous her boss was, how grateful his wife was. The more she spoke of them, the more it felt like she was living in their world and leaving me behind in mine. I began noticing changes in her behavior. She dressed better, carried herself differently, and even seemed to glow in ways I hadn't seen before. She claimed it was just the hormones and the attention she was getting from the clinic, but I could see it clearly. She was enjoying the luxury, the treatment, and most of all, the closeness with her boss's family. It felt like she had become part of them, while I was nothing but a bystander. One evening, I asked her bluntly, "Do you even realize what this is doing to us?" She brushed me off with a cold laugh, saying, "You're overreacting. You should be proud of me." Proud? How could I be proud of a wife who carried another man's child, flaunting the situation like a prize? As time passed, my resentment grew. I stopped trying to argue. Instead, I quietly made my own plans. I took on extra hours at work, started saving, and distanced myself emotionally. I knew that once this child was born, things would never be the same between us. She thought she was securing a future for us with the money, but she didn't see the cracks she was carving into our marriage. The day of delivery came, and her boss and his wife were there every step of the way. They celebrated like it was the best day of their lives, while I stood in the corner, watching my wife hand over a baby that was never ours. She looked proud, glowing with accomplishment. I looked at her and felt nothing but cold emptiness. After the handover, her boss hugged her, thanked her endlessly, and even promised her future favors. That was the final straw. That night, while she slept, I packed my bags. I left her a note. "You chose them over us. You chose money over marriage. I hope it was worth it." When she woke up the next morning and saw me gone, she called again and again, but I didn't answer. I had already moved to a small apartment and was determined to rebuild my life without her. She had made her choice, and now I was making mine. Weeks later, she showed up at my door in tears, begging me to return. She admitted that her boss and his wife had cut her off completely after the birth, treating her as nothing more than a service. She realized too late that the money couldn't fill the hole left by our broken marriage. But I wasn't the same man anymore. I looked her in the eyes and told her, "Regret doesn't undo betrayal. You turned our marriage into a business deal. I can't love you after that." Her tears didn't move me. The pain she had caused ran deeper than anything money could heal. She left that day broken, and I knew she finally understood the weight of her decision. She wanted to act as though her body was hers alone, but marriage was supposed to mean partnership, respect, and loyalty. She had thrown that away, and now she was left with nothing but regret. In the end, she learned the hardest truth of all. Sometimes the choices we make for greed or pride cost us the very people who loved us most. And as much as it hurt, I was glad I had the strength to walk away.